Oh hi, fancy meeting you guys here. Hey guys, this is GamerCal. We are playing Touhou 13 10 Desires. This is the intro video thing, of which I am the first one to do this, because of course Robin's LP of this was blind at this point, and yeah, it's finally happening. A hell of a lot of stuff has gone wrong with all of this, and that's just how it goes. So yeah, let's go on about the game before I keep on going on about my own stuff here. The general idea of this game is that divine spirits have started showing up all over the place, all flashy and cool and whatnot, and our characters, our heroines, are unsure what they are, and so they go out to investigate for one reason or another. So you've got, of course, your 4 difficulties as usual. They're prayers for something. IT data security, what the hell's that all about? But yeah, we're just going to check out stuff on normal, obviously. So the 4 characters that we have are Reimu, Marisa, Sanae, and Yomu. Yomu is the playable character because she was the one who people voted for or something in some contest thing somewhere, I guess, and that's where people wanted to return as a playable character, so she returns as a playable character. Everybody's got their own general properties and whatnot. There is only one shot type per character in this game, so there's only 4 shots. However, the 2 shots that a character has, the 2 attacking types that they have, are very, very different. So Yomu is Yomu, but Reimu over here has her homing amulet, so it's her unfocused shot, but her focus shot is her persuasion needle, which is her, it combines needle and homing Reimu in one aspect. Marisa does a similar thing, combining lasers with her usual magic missile stuff. Sanae combines 2 different wind types, there's a spread wind and a slight focus wind, and Yomu has a very weird thing because she can't shoot while she's focused, but when you launch her, when you unfocus after charging for a set amount of time, you release sword slashes up the field which are humongously damaging. Unfortunately not going to show that off in this LP because I don't really like Yomu at all. I'm not good with Yomu in the slightest. So I'm going to go ahead and show off stage 2 on normal with Sanae here. I have yet to actually play stage 2 on normal because at least on this save file I have yet to play stage 2 on normal because unlike most of the other games, when you actually clear a stage and you get, you go on to the next stage and whatnot, you actually don't have to play the stage in order to unlock it on practice mode. So it's pretty great how that turns out. It's a bit surprisingly dense for normal, actually. It's not really dense, it's just that the bullets are so slow, it takes forever to them to get anywhere. Anyways, you can see these spirits, I'm not talking about the game here at all, these spirits are adding to your point value. The blue ones will give you 10 extra points to your point item value. The grey ones act like the gold items did in Mountain of Faith, and they do all sorts of stuff related to Mountain of Faith, as in they give you the maximum amount of points that you can at a time, no matter where you collect them on screen, which is quite handy to say the least. There are green spirits as you saw, which give you bomb pieces. There are purple spirits which give you life pieces. As you can see in the corner of this, or the side of the screen there, the life pieces are, you need 8 of them in order to get an extra life, whereas if you're, as you get further along, you get more extra lives and whatnot. You need more and more life pieces to get the next one. So it takes 8 just now, it would take 10 for the next one, 12 for the third one, 15 for the 4th, 18 for the 5th, and you will not get any more after that. It would take 20 to get the 6th, but there's no way that you can get 20 in the main game run. So that is how it goes. Anyway, the bosses all drop stuff that way too, and as you can hopefully see, there is some sort of flame gauge in the bottom corner. As you collect spirits, you will fill this gauge up, and this gauge is what's known as your trance gauge, because the C button in this game actually does something as well. The X button does bombs, like that, and of course this is Sanae's one, it creates a nice damaging esoteric star, it's quite nice. But the C button actually activates a thing called trance mode. Now, whilst in trance mode, you are invincible, and the bullets will still appear, but you can never get hit by them. However, items that you collect, or spirits that you collect during trance mode, will have additional value. The life spirits and bomb spirits will double in value, so you get 2 instead of 1. The grey spirits are kind of the same, but the blue spirits will give you 100 extra point item value instead of 10. The grey items do increase your point item value as well, but the grey items' main use is to further increase your trance gauge. Your trance gauge goes up most when you collect grey spirits, basically. Morning's quite early indeed, yes, part of the liturgy, blah blah blah, stuff. So, yes, another thing you may have noticed is that during the bosses, again, another thing, just as a distraction here, the character artwork and stuff is extremely cute during this game. Like, every single character is amazingly cute. So, yeah, that's a thing. You may have noticed the boss's health bar is actually a circle now instead of a regular bar, and I kinda died. That's pretty great. I don't really care, to be completely honest, so there you go. But, yeah, it's kind of a health circle now, and the little notch on the circle is designed to represent when stuff keeps going. Why does Kyoko not have stars in that top corner? She's supposed to have stars because that's her spell card count. She doesn't have any stars. Why doesn't she have stars? That's kind of weird. But yeah, this is a new thing that happened in Fairy Wars, Touhou 12.8, and Zuna's decided to keep it in the main games as well. Now she has stars. That's a weird glitch, seriously. But yeah, Zuna's decided that the whole thing about the life bar being a circle is actually a good idea, and so we have life bars to the circles now. I can understand why, because if you're looking up to see where the boss is, then you probably won't want to look in the top corner so that you can get stuff for that, so you probably would want to see, boss's health and stuff that way. But even so, I don't know. The bosses will drop spirits as you go along. You actually want to kill enemies really quickly, because the faster you kill chains of enemies, the more spirits will be summoned from them, the more spirits you'll get for killing them. And when you play on hard and lunatic, you actually get a lot more spirits than if you play on normal. So there isn't many appearing just now, but in Yeahhhh LP there's going to be a lot appearing, so be aware of that, I guess. But yeah, the closer you are to a boss, the more spirits they will drop, and the better the spirits they will drop as well. So they'll start dropping, they won't ever drop resource spirits outside of their spell card clearing stuff, but yes, they will drop more spirits as you're close to them. They'll drop grey spirits if you're very close and you keep shooting them, and it's all good times. You'll end up getting lots of trance gauge off of them, and stuff keeps on going round. That's kind of the way scoring works in this game, but there are certain attacks that you can afford to stay really close to the boss on, and those attacks are the ones that you want to milk the trance out of as much as you can, so that you can basically get it for when you need it. Because that's one of the biggest problems of this. Have you only just realized that? God damn it, Sane. But yeah, the only reason that this game's system is a bit flawed is because you basically have to trance at specific points that you need to learn. You need to learn when the enemies are going to show up, you need to drop spirits and stuff. You need to basically trance at those points, and especially on normal, you don't have the opportunity to use it anywhere else, which is kind of bad. Anyhow, let's talk a little bit about the shot types over here. Reimu is quite rightly called the cheating automatic type. She is basically the same general thing as Reimu A in Subterranean Animism was. She is by far the most overpowered shot type in this game, by far the best shot type. And, well, she's got homing on her regular shots. The homing's actually very good. It's not overly powerful, but it's extremely well aimed. So, yeah, it tends to suffer from the same thing as in the last game, though, whereas your options are on either side of you, pretty much, or they're down the back in either side. So basically, your homing is sort of direction dependent too. If you're on the far left hand side of the screen and the enemies are on the right, only half of your homing is going to go for them. the other half is not going to. So it's kind of the same thing as the last game that way. And when you focus, you get the Persuasion Needle, which is the strongest shot type of the game, so she has the most convenient in the homing, and she has the strongest shot type as well, in addition to her small hitbox special ability as normal. Everybody's Trance has got its own unique ability as well, and Reimu's unique Trance ability is that the spirits will auto-collect whilst Trance is undergoing. This is both a good and bad thing. It's good because you'll auto-collect like bomb pieces and stuff at their proper value, but it's bad because sometimes you want to leave spirits on the screen to collect after Trance is over, so that you can collect them, you know, separately and start up a new Trance gauge. So overall, she is the absolute best shot type to ever use. She is the shot type to use if you are starting up the game, and that's that. Marisa is sort of better than before, mostly gimped from before. I think everybody's hitbox has been reduced a little bit, so Marisa's hitbox issues are not as big as they used to be, which is quite good. But the problem comes in the fact that her shots are gimped from before. Her illusion laser is nice because at 3 and 4 power you'll start getting spread shots with it instead of just regular shots. So she actually has acceptable range at 3 and 4 power pretty much with her lasers. The problem is her lasers do not pierce anymore, and they're sort of not instant spawning too, so if you're switching quickly between focus and unfocus, you'll find that your unfocused shots are not really doing very much damage, but the fact that they don't pierce is really weird, and I don't understand what the point of the laser shot is if it's not going to pierce. Her focus shot, the magic missile, is the second strongest basic shot of the game, I suppose. It's Notori missiles from before, except it combines Notori missiles with Sane Fogs, in the fact that they explode and do splash damage when they hit an enemy, complete with the sound effect stuff as well, like Notori missiles had that sound. It's kind of cool. But it's a bit distracting if you're trying to shotgun an enemy because the splashes will sort of interfere with your vision of bullets. It's particularly notable in Yuyuko's third attack. Yeah, spoilers, Yuyuko is in this thing. What do you expect? There's spirits and Yomu is a playable character, so there you go. But yeah, her main ability is in Trance, however, because she collects items super easily in that as well. But she has a massive attack speed, like higher attack movement and stuff. And then her attack power is unparalleled. It's really awesome. I didn't really mention the bombs either, actually, I forgot about that. Fancy Seal is exactly the same as Reimu B's bomb in UFOs, so if you know what that's like, then you know what it's like. It's a bit more colourful than that one though, so it's kinda cool. Marisa's Master Spark should really be called the Final Spark at this point, because it's a Master Spark which can be aimed. Marisa has learned not just to shoot forwards now as well. If you move left and right during the casting of Master Spark whilst it's active, it will aim to the left and right. This is kind of both a blessing and a curse, because sometimes you'll need to move back towards the boss and it's annoying, but really, once again, like the last game, half of the power comes from your shots as well, your regular fires, so it's annoying when an enemy moves out of the way of it, because you still move stupidly slow, but it's fantastic for shotgunning. So really, Marisa is all about getting Trance up and using Trance to clear stuff that you can't clear normally. Because you can get a whole ton of spirits by shotgunning with Marisa, and if you bomb at shotgun range, you're gonna get at least a full spirit gauge thing, maybe a spirit and a half out of that Trance gauge thing. So that's good. Sane is a spread shot type, a pure sort of spread shot type. Her focus shot, as you saw, all of the wind gusts kind of move inwards. The problem is they have a pretty wide DNA arc, and the issue with that wide DNA arc is that half the shots will miss the enemy. She's really terrible at shotgunning actually, because she'll miss the enemy with most of her shots almost all the time, and that doesn't get her a lot of spirits. So she's really bad at that. However, her spirit gauge charges up really quickly. She has the weakest Trance in the game because she has no special abilities attached to it, but she gets Trances most often, which makes her pretty good in normal mode, where Trances are not very common in the first place because spirits are difficult to come by. So she's good in that sense. but not very good at the higher difficulties because she's just inflexible. Her shots don't have very much power, she can't get very many spirits from bosses, and her trance is very weak. So there is that. Her bomb was that nice little Esoterica star that you saw. It looks quite pretty, and it actually does a lot of damage to go with it, so that's quite nice. And then Yeahhhh. I've already alluded to how Yeahhhh plays already. She has that very weird focus shot where she doesn't actually shoot whilst focused, but when she unfocuses, she releases a whole ton of sword slashes up the screen. The more power you've got, the more sword slashes that go up, so the higher your power, the further down you can be on the screen and still hit the enemy. Her regular shots are pretty much the same as Marissa A from Mountain of Faith. She has options or meons behind her, and each one of those shoots streams of sword slashes upwards. That's pretty much how it goes. Her special ability, as it's saying there, charges that powerful sword slash. Her special trance effect is that her trance is basically her continuously swinging her sword. So it has a blind spot in front of itself, but in between the sword slashes and Yeahhhh. But her trance has got extremely wide range, so it makes up for her lower speed in trance as well compared to Marissa. Because her speed is very comparable with Marissa, but not during trance. But her wide range basically means you can kill most of the horizontal parts of the screen in one shot, so that's good. What else is there to mention? I guess I should really mention with the spirit gauge, you can only activate it manually when you have it maxed, if you have all 3 flames lit. But if you have at least 1 flame lit, if you die, the trance gauge will automatically activate, as you saw during the thing itself. It is possible to both Death Bomb and Death Trance in this game if you have max Spirit Gauge up. If you Death Trance, then the difference is, there's an actual sound effect when you manually enter Trance mode. And so if you hear that sound effect, you know you've got your Death Trance off, and you won't die when you exit Trance. But obviously if you go into Trance after as a death thing, it's just basically a revenge kill sort of thing, or a revenge for getting killed type of object. You cannot clear the game or clear a stage, however, if you run out of lives and are, you beat the final attack of a boss in trance mode. That doesn't work because you die instantly when the cutscene starts. This happens if you die at the end of a stage as well and your trance is like that, so yeah. Actually, on that note, if you are in trance and the cutscene starts, then you will lose your trance and you will lose 1 flame on your meter. But if you had a lot of trance anyway, then you'll still have some left. So it sort of manually, automatically exits trance for you. With that said, well, the only reason this has taken so long, apart from masses of tries, is because I'm having to record this on a new system now. Because I recorded this intro video, just after the UFO LP, and not long after that, my 4x3 monitor for my desktop killed itself. I accidentally sort of fell down the stairs with it when taking it back up, and after a meeting thing with, friends, and it kind of died. So I couldn't exactly record this on my old laptop, because my old laptop can barely play this game anyway, it lags at some points. Hey, have an intro. Yes, so that was unfortunate. I had to sort of get a new monitor. The problem is I've only just recently gotten a new monitor, but it's not a 4x3 monitor. It's a dedicated widescreen 1080p thing. It's actually an Acer monitor for those who know the brand. It's 21.5 inch, and I can't get the aspect ratio to be 4x3 for with the black bars around the side for Touhou, and there's no way I can play it on a widescreen. I can't play windowed either because I am just really terrible at playing any game windowed mode because I'm a console gamer at heart, and that's that. So what I've done, I got a new laptop for the sake of getting a better system to do my uni work on, but it also actually works pretty well with Fraps. Not perfectly, but well enough that most of the time I can do this quite comfortably. So I've recorded it on a new laptop basically. However, the actual physical size of this laptop is bigger than before, so that's a little bit of adjustment there. But really the keyboard, I'm not a fan of the arrow keys on this at all. It doesn't feel sensitive enough to me. So there are times where I think I've moved and I haven't and stuff like that. And also there's a numpad on the right hand side of it, and that's terrible. But yeah, that's basically an overly long explanation as to why this has taken so long. I've recorded the game in the extra stage at this point, so this was done last to make sure that I get this out as soon as I can. So, with that said, this has been GamerCow doing his overly long exposition thing about what Touhou 13 is all about. And join us next time when we start the game proper, and stuff will happen. So yes.